without much ado, I'd like to invite you or your agent to bring forward your papers, your nomination papers for scrutiny and verification. Your agent. Thank you. The nominator, can you stand up, please? Nantumbwe Jen is here. Nominator. Seconder, Jago Fred, the seconder. All right. You can remain seated. Okay.
To the people who may be joining this occasion for the first time, here and online, we are at the EC grounds in Lubowa, Rweza, in Makinde Sabagabo. And this place is the first permanent home for the headquarters of the Electoral Commission in Uganda. And going forward, this is going to be the venue, the place where presidential candidates are nominated, and the set for this 2025-2026 general election being the first ones that have been nominated from grounds that belong to the Electoral Commission, that belong to the people of Uganda, because this is your commission, this is your Electoral Commission. And so those who are watching online and following on TV and other platforms, the Commission has now instructed the technical teams here to verify and check all the particulars that are required of an aspirant for presidential elections, to participate in the presidential elections as a candidate. So that's what the Commission has asked the teams here that are from the legal department of the Commission, the voter data management department, election management, field operations, to check those particulars that are required. And they are checking those particulars which the aspirant was informed to bring as they submit their nomination papers. The nomination form filled in triplicate, 3 copies, a declaration of consent that the aspirant consents to confirming that the aspirant is a registered voter, is a citizen of Uganda by birth, and confirming, as the Commission said, as required by the law, that the aspirant has got the minimum academic qualifications. So they're checking to confirm that the aspirant went to school. They're also confirming and checking those other particulars. A certificate indicating that the aspirant obtained the required numbers of supporters as required by the law. That the aspirant has paid the required nomination fee of 20 million shillings. We thank members of the press for keeping the country and citizens of Uganda and everybody that is watching these proceedings, for keeping them informed of what is happening, because this is their exercise. This is the exercise of the people of Uganda, and what the Commission is doing is fulfilling that responsibility that it has. So we thank you, members of the press, for, since yesterday, actually since the roadmap started, the roadmap to the 2025-26 general election was first launched in July 2023, and again revised and relaunched in the presence of stakeholders in August 2024. And over time, a number of milestones on that roadmap have been undertaken, including demarcation of electoral areas at local government level, the organization of polling stations, mapping of persons with disabilities to polling stations, the first major nationwide mapping of persons with disabilities to establish who they are, where they are, what kind of disabilities they have, what needs to be done to ensure that there is greater inclusivity in the electoral process by persons with disabilities. And one of the things that the Commission has done and endeavors to do is to make sure, for instance, that on events of this nature and others, that there is sign language interpretation or translation. And you can see we have Mebo Murunji there for those who understand the language of sign language. And then the Commission undertook the update of the National Voters Register. Period was given when voters who had the opportunity to, those who are not on the register, to register as voters. Those who were new voters to register as new voters after attaining the required age. There was also the opportunity for those who wish to make transfers from one voting location to another to do so, as provided for in the law. There was a period for the display of the voters' register at the various levels. And fast forward, now we are in this nomination process, which started with nominations at local government level, and elections of special interest groups, the youth, older persons, and persons with disabilities. And now we are here for nominations for the people that are aspiring to the top position in the land. When the roadmap was announced, 23rd and 24th of September looked to be very far. But now we're on the last day, 24th. So you're welcome.
Well, what is happening right now is the commissioners of the Electoral Commission are perusing through the documents of Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, who happens to be the NUP flag bearer and the sixth person today and yesterday who have come at the proposed site for the Electoral Commission headquarters. That is the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Justice Simon Byabakama. I see him doing some mathematics, doing some calculation there, signing papers. Well, this is a tough time because before he pronounces himself that you've been duly, let me just wait for that statement. Maybe he's about to speak. Well, before he pronounces himself, you cannot be very sure because we saw Elton Joseph Mabirizi. Okay, let's listen.
Distinguished guests. We've been scrutinizing and verifying the nomination papers of the aspirant, and we are satisfied he has fulfilled the requirements of the Presidential Elections Act. Therefore, I, Justice Byabakama Mugenyi Simon, being the returning officer for the nomination of presidential candidates, declare Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert a duly nominated candidate in respect of the presidential elections 2026, he having fulfilled the nomination requirements under the Presidential Elections Act, Chapter 179, Laws of Uganda. You are now a candidate. Congratulations. Right. You are required to append or affix your signature or that of your agent on this paper to confirm that indeed you have attended. So please, your agent or yourself, whichever. Oh, sure. Okay. Candidate Kyagulanyi Sentamu Robert, as a duly nominated candidate, you are required to observe the following. 1, you are to appoint an official agent who will coordinate your campaign meetings and media program, and also attend meetings on your behalf where necessary. Secondly, you are to avail the commission with a schedule of your campaign meetings and media program as soon as practicable, so as to facilitate the smooth harmonization of all the candidates' campaign programs countrywide before you embark on your campaign schedule, which officially begins on 29th of September. You're also to sign a memorandum of understanding with the Electoral Commission on compliance with the harmonized campaign program, timelines, and guidelines. Although the campaigns kick off on 29th, however, you are at liberty today to meet your supporters, since we could not allow them, all of them in here, at a designated place, either to roll out your manifesto or greet your supporters. You are at liberty to do that. The commission is also required, upon nomination, to avail you a soft copy of the voters register, the national voters register. And we have this soft copy here. I ask your agent to come and pick it. Yeah. No. Furthermore, under Section 23 of the Presidential Elections Act, the Commission is required to ensure that the relevant organs of the state provide you, during the entire campaign period, your protection, both on the road, on the campaign trail, or not even on the campaign trail, wherever you want to go, and also at home. To that extent, therefore, we are going to hand over to you a security vehicle together with the security personnel who will be guarding you at all times. The vehicle is at our cost. The fuel, the driver, the guards protecting you are all at our cost, even maintenance of the vehicle. Thereafter, we have a media tent. You may want to address the media and talk to the people of Uganda. It is at your will. But for now, can we go and we hand over to you your security vehicle and the security personnel. Thank you very much.
So, please, you, Thank you very much. Please, the candidate.
Come back to the Electoral Commission here in Rwezalubowa, and the presidential nominations are still happening, and this is the last candidate. The Honorable Robert Sentamu Kyagulanyi is now proceeding to be handed over the security detail that is his. It will be a 16-man security detail, and this detail is both for his home and his personal movement, and also, as said by the Electoral Commission, this detail is catered for by the Electoral Commission. The personnel, the driver, the car, the fueling, wherever he's moving, the cost is met by them. He will be proceeding out, as we see he and his will be proceeding out, and they'll be moving straight to where the detail is, and then the chairperson of the Electoral Commission will be handing him over the car. Then he'll be addressed by the commander of the security detail, who will in turn give a brief. Also, will be in case he has any security detail. He is coming and walking out of the tent. He and his wife and the delegation. Who is there? Lois Rubongoya, who is moving with him. You will also see the Chief Whip, Nambeshe, who is also with him there. He has a whole team that is going and escorting him to be able to receive the brief of this transportation. And his car, this transportation is not to be indulged by the candidate. It is only for the security detail. He, the candidate, has to find his own means of transport to be able to move from one place to another. We also see quite a number of members. The Honorable the principal to receive. He's actually a candidate. He's not
Sentamu, the new principal and flag bearer for the presidential elections 2026, has officially been nominated by the Electoral Commission. All requirements needed, Robert Kyagulanyi Sentamu has presented them, and the Electoral Commission is very satisfied. Now he's heading to the vehicle that is being given, and this is for his security. Wherever he goes, he's supposed to have 24/7 protection from today till the entire process is done. Now, interesting this time, these candidates are only given a patrol vehicle, that double cabin. It has a 16-man crew. The days of my guest in studio, Samuel Walter Rubega Mukaku, they were given a security vehicle. They were given a vehicle for the candidate to traverse the country. And I remember they contributed 8 million non-refundable. This time it has been 20 million non-refundable. But during their days, you would contribute 8 million, but then you would be given 20 million. Now, things are tougher for this time round for the candidates that are going to, that are already been nominated. We can say 6 of them are now fully nominated, bring to the end of what we began with, because by closure of business yesterday, we had 5 candidates, and today morning, the chairperson of the Electoral Commission informed us that also General Gregory Mugisha Muntu had fulfilled the requirements issued with the certificate, and he was duly nominated. Now, this brings the number to 6 candidates who are going to appear on the ballot paper, unless any changes. But as we see things, no change. It is 6. Now, Robert Kyagulanyi Sentamu will address the media, as it has been the norm for every candidate who has been nominated.
Protocol team, please get me an umbrella for the candidate.
Yeah, address it alone. Address it alone. But you need an umbrella.
No, President, now a presidential candidate for 2026, making the total of 6 men that are going to appear on the ballot paper. Don't ask me where are the ladies.
Protocol team says,
because unlike previously, this time around we seem not to have any lady having met the requirements of the Electoral Commission. Nancy Kalembe had expressed interest, and a number of women had expressed and picked nomination forms, but when it comes to fulfilling the requirements, we've not seen any. Well, let's go to Robert Kyagulanyi.
You are welcome to address the nation. We have 20 minutes here. You can talk to us for 10 minutes and then take some questions from members of the press. You are welcome, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, before I say anything, I want to take this opportunity to pay tribute to our former Deputy President, Mama Jolly Mugisha, who passed away on the 24th of September last year. Today is exactly 1 year since we lost Mama Jolly. Mama Jolly was always a pillar of strength and courage within us. We strongly believe that today has fallen on this day, not by coincidence. Maybe there's a message that we are getting from the Almighty. Mama Jolly, rest in peace. We shall make you proud. We shall never give up your dreams. Fellow Ugandans, ladies and gentlemen, comrades in the struggle, I am deeply humbled and profoundly honored to accept your nomination to be the next president of the Republic of Uganda for the year 2026 to 2031, not 1926 to 1931. I thank you very much for the trust that you've continued to place in me ever since I offered myself for the first time for the presidential office in 2021. Today, my heart is filled with a deep sense of responsibility to deliver to that trust that you've put in me. Together, we have been everywhere preaching the message of a new Uganda. And today, with this nomination, we start on the final phase of our mission to freedom and true independence. Since our nation was born in 1962, every change of leadership has been written in blood, the blood and sacrifice of the common people of Uganda, the citizens of Uganda, and yet the leaders who always promised liberation have always delivered oppression. For 40 long years, one man and a small group of his relatives and friends have ruled our country on gunpoint. They have looted our nation and turned every institution of government into a tool of oppression. They have reduced the citizens of Uganda into slaves on their own land. They have reduced all of us into beggars, and they've turned our poverty into a tool of control. And yet, our country is not poor. Our country is rich. Our country cannot fall down. Our country will stand firm. Ladies and gentlemen, our country is fertile. Our people are hardworking and enterprising. We are rich in creativity. We are resourceful. We are energetic. We are young, and we are promising. Our country is one of the richest countries on the planet in terms of natural resources. So, my brothers and sisters, our problem is not lack of wealth. Our problem is lack of leadership. Leadership that serves the people instead of terrorizing them and exploiting them. Leadership that seeks to uplift the citizens instead of enslaving them. Sisters and brothers, this is not the first time that we stand before you with a dream of a new Uganda. We first made our attempt 5 years ago in 2021. Hundreds of our brothers and sisters were tortured. Many of them were arrested, and they're still in prison as we speak right now. Many were killed, and many are missing to the present day. And yet, we refuse to give up. I know that many of you are now asking, why then do we go to the polls? Why do we risk the tear gas, the bullets, the prisons, the torture chambers, the death, and all the mess that is awaiting us? My answer to you is this. We risk it all because the alternative is giving up, and that is 10 times worse. If we give up now, we shall have no moral authority to complain about what happens next. If we surrender now, that means that the fighting spirit of Rita Nabukenya, of Frank Senteza, of Yasin Kauma, and many others has been defeated. It means that they died in vain. It means betrayal. Betrayal of the comrades who have spent years in prison, counting on us who still have our little freedom to continue fighting for their freedom. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, no matter what happens to us, we must keep moving forward. Even if somebody tells you that our chance to freedom is only 1%, let us take that chance and fight. We have always been telling you about the protest vote, and today, let me use this opportunity to break it down in more detail. We have voted before. We have won elections before, and we have been rigged before. But the election this time is no usual election, brothers and sisters. We are going into this election as a way of protesting against the injustice that has been occasioned to us for the last 40 years. We are protesting, and the protest begins now. We must use this election season to rally the people of Uganda, to express their anger and to express their hope at the ballot box. We are going to use this election to protest legally. We are going to use this election to protest constitutionally. And we are going to use this election to protest non-violently. We must mobilize the people of Uganda to come out and vote in very, very large numbers. Numbers too big to rig. We must lay different strategies and make different plans to ensure that we, the people of Uganda, get our freedom in this season. Now, to our brothers and sisters in the diaspora, you, brothers and sisters, the Ugandans in the diaspora, you send so much money. You send more than $2 billion back to Uganda every year. In real sense, you are the biggest investors in Uganda. We know that many of you even fear to come back home because you know what happens to those that return home. Many of you don't risk the brutality. We know that Ugandans like Sam Mugumya, who returned from a Congolese prison, was abducted weeks ago, and up to now, he's missing. Nobody knows where Sam Mugumya is. We know Robert Kayingo Luja, a lawyer who was recently abducted from the airport, kept incommunicado for a month before being forced back in exile without even stepping foot in his house. The examples are many, ladies and gentlemen, but I tell you, my friends, we are fighting so that you can return to your home, to your families, to freedom and dignity. We are fighting so that you are received with roses and not handcuffs. We fight so that Uganda can give your children the chances and opportunities that you never got. That is why we fight. Now to General Museveni. I know you don't like listening to young people or even listening to anybody at all, but at least listen to your friend and Bush war comrade, General Kainda Otafire. I want you to remember that Uganda was here before you, and Uganda will be here long after you are gone. You don't have to burn it down on your way out. The best guarantee for your legacy, for your security, and for what you and your people have earned in the last 40 years is to allow a peaceful, orderly, and democratic transition of power. That opportunity is available because we are not vengeful people. We still believe in peace. We still believe in justice. And yes, we believe in reconciliation. All we want is a free and fair election. No military violence, no police brutality. That is not too much to ask for. Let this election not be a military operation. Let this be a democratic election. That should not be too much to ask for. You are aware that for the last 5 years, your regime has done everything to break our spirits.
Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, the new president, and now a candidate fully or duly nominated by the Electoral Commission. They're addressing the media and the nation from then, where he will be asked a number of questions by the media. Well, it is only 20 minutes that he had, 10 for his speech and 20 to answer questions from the journalists that are present there. I'm still with Samuel Walter Lubega Mukaku. Now, Mukaku, today we can confirm 6 men are going to appear on the ballot paper for 2026. These will include incumbent Yoweri Kaguta Museveni of the NRM party. We will have Elton Joseph Mabirizi, Conservative Party, Robert Kasibante, National Peasants Party. We will have Gregory Mugisha Muntu, Alliance for National Transformation, James Nandara Mafari Nathan, who is from the Forum for Democratic Change, and Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu. 6 men here.
Uganda, where teachers, soldiers, health workers, and other workers are paid promptly and adequately. Where farmers earn fair income from their produce, where traders are not suffocating under exploitative tax regimes. That is a new Uganda that we dream of. That is a new Uganda that we shall definitely get to. A Uganda where citizens can demonstrate on the streets about injustice, and the response of the government will be to listen to them and not to shoot them dead. A Uganda where jobs are not for the connected few, but for all those who qualify and are willing to work. Thank you. In the coming days, ladies and gentlemen, we shall unveil our manifesto, and we shall go ahead to paint a clear picture of that new Uganda that we dream of, that new Uganda that we believe. But ultimately, about leadership, that will be a Uganda where leaders will be serving the people and not the other way around. I tell you, my friends, that Uganda is possible in our lifetime. And with your courage, with our sacrifice, and with the grace of God, we shall reach that new Uganda. Now, as the National Unity Platform, even with the little resources that we had for the last 4.5 years, we have already demonstrated that we are able to use less and achieve more. We have managed to acquire the biggest political party headquarters in Uganda. We have launched the first school of leadership, and we have gone ahead to groom leaders at no cost to them, leaders that will uphold our values and offer leadership to the next generation after we retire. We have supported families of political prisoners and missing comrades. We have refused to be compromised. We have held onto our principles even when it has come at great personal cost. We have pursued and secured sanctions against those who steal from our people and against those who oppress our people. We have kept the struggle alive, and we are growing even stronger. Now, to the international community, Uganda's freedom is not only for Ugandans. Uganda's freedom is for everybody. If Ugandans are safe, if Ugandans are not safe, neither are our neighbors, nor the international dwellers or the international community that always receives us when we go seeking for asylum. Please stand with us as we stand for democracy and human rights. Now, to our senior comrade, Dr. Kiza Besije, to our brothers Alex Waiswa Mufumbiro, Comrade Bobi Young, Eddie Mutwe, Achireo Chivumbi, Machete, Gaddafi and all other political prisoners. We honor you, we think about you, we pray for you, and we are fighting for you. To your families and every Ugandan that has been affected in this struggle, please don't lose hope. Your suffering will never go in vain. Now finally, to the comrades that I will be moving with on this campaign trail, the foot soldiers, the ordinary citizens of Uganda who have nothing else to offer to their country but their selves, their bodies. First of all, I thank you, brothers and sisters. We have stood together through the tear gas, through the bullets, through the beatings, through the abductions, through the courts, through the prison walls, and through the funerals. You have been my shield. You have been my eyes. You have been my courage. You have been my strength. You have been my friends, my true friends. Today, as we go into what is likely to be an even more violent campaign, I will be relying on you, my friends. We are embarking on a long walk to freedom. Whatever lies ahead of us is going to test everything that we are and everything that we stand for. But I guarantee you, brothers and sisters, freedom will come at the end of the day. Because after all, freedom never comes easy. Our grandparents shed blood for the independence of this country 62 years ago. Our parents shed blood for what they believed was a liberation 40 years ago. Our comrades in this very generation are in prison for this very struggle. They've shed blood for this struggle. Many of them are missing and they don't even have graves for this struggle. Let us carry them in our hearts. Let us carry them in our minds. Let us do this in their name. Brothers and sisters, the same courage and discipline that has kept us going since 2017 should be the same courage and discipline to carry us through this campaign. Your duty in this campaign, I must remind you, will not be to protect me. Yes, your duty in this campaign is not to protect me. It is to protect yourselves. It is to protect each other. It is to protect those ordinary people that come to support us on our rallies. I request you to be vigilant in every village that we shall enter and on every rally that we go to. Please be very solid and be very sober. Please be very calm and be very disciplined. Hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. Be careful, but don't show fear, because this regime wants us to be fearful. My brothers and sisters, I want you to understand what we are fighting for. We are fighting for a better Uganda. We are fighting for the farmers, for the border riders, for the young graduates who have no jobs. We are fighting for the ghetto people, those ghetto youth whose future is being stolen away in exchange for a few shillings. We are fighting for the ordinary children whose future is empty and we want to give meaning to. We are fighting for those police officers who are ordered to brutalize you because you are fighting for their children's future. And afterwards, they have to return to their uniport, to an empty house, to children with no school fees, and to a family with no health insurance. Please don't look at them as your enemies, because they are not your enemies. They are victims too. They also wish that things can change someday. Brothers and sisters, if we succeed, this country will be free and things will change forever. It will never be the same again. Unfortunately, if we don't succeed, nobody will ever believe that we did our best. That will mean that we are condemning our children, those that are born and those that are unborn, to slavery. And that is not what we should be doing. Therefore, brothers and sisters, failure is not an option. We must get our freedom, or at least die trying to get our freedom. I don't know how much danger is awaiting us on this campaign trail, but I know that we are going to keep moving with hope and faith. We are carrying the hope of our entire generation, a hope of millions and millions of Ugandans. Brothers and sisters, I want you to understand that this that we are carrying on our shoulders is a historical responsibility. So prepare yourselves. Hug your loved ones one more time and tell them that we are going to war. We are going to a war that we never chose, a war that we are not even trained for, but a war that has been imposed on us by our oppressors. We are facing an enemy that is armed to the teeth, and we are facing the enemy barehanded, only armed with the truth and God. We are fighting this because it is a duty that we must take on. We are fighting for our God-given right to live as human beings in our own country. We will never retire. We will never give up. We will fight until we are free, and I'm sure we shall be free in the end. This is not a matter of when, but it's not a matter of if. This is a matter of when, and we know that we are going to achieve our freedom. Brothers and sisters, I want to conclude by guaranteeing to you that are here with us and all Ugandans all over the world that in the end we shall be free. In the end, everything is going to be all right. And if everything is not all right yet, then that will not be the end. Thank you very much for God and my country.
Thank you, candidates, for that address. Now, members of the press, the candidates team has said that it's going to do the version in Luganda at Natete and also answer the questions there. So given the environment, I don't know unless the candidate chooses, so that is the guidance from his team. Thank you very much. So let us wait for that advice. But that's what the team had presented. Thank you.
I don't think we have time. Yeah, apologies because of the weather and because of the time constraint. We request that we proceed to Natete to address our rally and maximize our time, and maybe we'll answer questions from there or another opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, candidate protocol team. I know the weather is a challenge, but let's manage the candidate and his entourage. Please, protocol team, protect my microphone at the main podium. And let us usher...
Finished addressing members of the general public and the press. Well, because of the weather, his team, that is the National Unity Platform team, thought it wise that he proceeds to Natete, where they're going to be having their rally, and there he will have the Luganda version and respond to questions from the media. Now, Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu makes it to the 6th candidate that has been nominated by the Electoral Commission, and 6 will appear on the ballot paper. According to that program we had today, there were 3 candidates, and indeed 3 candidates have been nominated, and yesterday we had 3 candidates. Now that makes a total of 6 that will appear on the ballot paper. When we look at the laws, there are 2 days designated. Now this was the 24th, that was the 23rd and 24th. We can reliably say that yes, the day is closed as of now, and unless anything or any other communication, it is guaranteed that we shall have 6 candidates for 2026 general elections. And those concerned with gender, I must say, no lady has fulfilled the requirements of the Electoral Commission, despite the fact that a number of them picked nomination forms. But when it went to collecting signatures from at least a minimum of 98 districts, and of which every district you had to have 100 signatures. Now that makes 2/3 of the districts in Uganda. Unfortunately, we didn't have any of those. Now I'm here with a man who went through this process. He was nominated. He traversed the country. How he performed is not what, I'm not going to tackle that, because that is business for another day. Samuel Walter Lubega Mukaku. Your days things were slightly better because you were given 2 vehicles. That is the vehicle of you, the candidate, Then you had the security vehicle. You presented a non-refundable amount of money of 8 million. Then you got 20 million. You had a longer campaign trail time. This time they are doing it from the 29th of September up to the 12th of January, that is 2026. What do you make of this time around the events in terms of what is required of you and the time frame that is given?
Thank you very much. I want to congratulate the candidates that have been duly nominated. And like I said at the beginning, regardless of what our views or vision and what we think should be done, we wish them the best, the very best. And Ugandans to go through this campaign season alive and with their human dignity and the rights respected. That's our wish. You said that things then were better. No, they were worse. Some certain things have improved. Others have remained the same. But also new dubious management aspects of the elections have been generated, which are almost which almost tantamount to what we call gerrymandering, certain new forms of rigging. But again, technology has also improved, improved in real terms and real time. But also the Electoral Commission has also tried to
do things better,
to get itself engaged with the technology.
Now, in the interest of time, I would have loved to know more of your story, but of course time matters so much. Let's just head to Robert Kyagulanyi's speech. Now, when you look at this, he moves on the theme of new Uganda. He said, we must create a new Uganda. And of course, also something to pick, he says, we shall have a protest vote and will ensure that we fight all injustices in a non-violent manner. He emphasizes that. But also towards the end of his speech, he mentions that hug your relative, hug your friend. One more time, tell them we are going for war. What do you make of this?
Well-written speech. Though incoherent ideas.
Elaborate.
At the beginning, we are saying, why do we then go to the polls? To protest. Protest peacefully, protest legally, protest, all those forms of protest that he defined. Well, so are we using the election to win power and take back the country to the people? In my view, no. In my view, no. Because he's very, very categorically clear how they want to use the elections. Two, he makes a human rights cry. A human rights cry, which is well in order. And he makes another one that the incumbent should listen to his old journal and friend. And fourthly, he also says, look, it's going to be an election where we call for reconciliation. That's what we as DF, part of what we wanted, what we think has got to be embraced, reconciliation. Then all of a sudden, again, he stumbles and he says, after talking about a few policy issues, he now comes and says, it's going to be war. He declares war. He declares war and he tells everyone to tighten their belts, that and on a principle which at the university used to be Northcote principle, that we either get our freedom or we die fighting for that freedom. And he says, be ready to die, be ready to do this. And to me, that's the detail that probably the country will want. On one side, the protest vote, the reconciliation plea, and then having to fight.
But then there is a mismatch. You can't talk about reconciliation. Then you talk about using legal means. Then as you conclude, then you talk about be prepared for war.
The incoherent aspects of the speech, major aspects of the speech. That's why what I said, incoherent. The incoherence is what we as a DF have been talking about. We need to be coherent because, as you know, there are those who say the protest vote proponents, the protest vote proponents. And he has tried to explain what protest vote is going to be about. And I've told you it's not about winning election, but protesting legally, protesting, yeah. Then the other one is they are the defiance proponents. Those we have lived with them for some time. Then you have the Reform First, the DF group, Reform First. Then you have the chronic NRM sham elections, chronic, for several years, including the cries within the NRM. Like there are also cries within the opposition, learning from Enyonye Nkuru. This has got to be reconciled as a country. We need to choose what path. We need to be coherent if we advocate for one strategy or the other. Now, in this particular speech, as I said, well written but incoherent, we need to be clear so that my mother, bedridden though, in Gomba, knows exactly what is going to happen in the next 3 months. Is it all about elections? Is it just the reconciliation cry and peaceful legal protest? Is it going to be defiance, as it looks like? Or it's going to be war, preparing for war? and if even our troops, those who support us, need to be clear, need to have clarity about what is it. If you are not clear, then you have done a disservice, a wastage of the 3 months and the post-election era. Unless we get coherent on the strategic uprooting of what we call the dictatorship. We in the opposition, we who want to take over government.
So you want to allude that there is dictatorship within the opposition?
Just like when one said, we want to protect the gains. Is it protecting the gains?
Yes.
Yeah. Then you ask the gains, and for who? For who? It was good, but again the incoherence. Whose gains? Whose gains?
That we've gained all as Ugandans.
Yes.
We protect the peace, we protect the...
Is that what the common ordinary person feels? Is that road, Entebbe Express Road, for me? Is the high taxes, are the high taxes paid? Are they for me? You understand? These are some of the things that we need to unpack.
Mukaku, now let's also look at the entire 2 days, how they have been, and of course looking at the candidates that have finally made it to the ballot paper for 2026. 6 of them, we have General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the NRM candidate.
Yeah.
We have Elton Joseph Mabidizi, Conservative Party. We have Robert Kasivante, National Peasants Party. Gregory Mugisha Muntu, Alliance for National Transformation. We have James Nathan Nandara Mafabi, that is Forum for Democratic Change, and finally Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu. The rest of the 41 that had returned their requirements of signatures, according to the Electoral Commission, well, unfortunately, they did not satisfy the Electoral Commission when they tried to verify the signatures. So 6 have been nominated. What do you make of these 6?
First of all, building from where we've been, how have we gained as a country that our women cannot even afford to be nominated? At a stage when we say the women have made great gains.
Previously, we've had women being nominated.
How?
We've had Honorable Betty Kamya, we've had Mama Miria Karure Obote, we've had the likes of Nancy Kalembe, we've had, I think she called Gochalia, forgotten the other name. Well, I can mention ladies, we've had women standing for presidency in this country. Just that this time around, we've not had any.
In this studio, in this broadcasting cube, at least I'm speaking, one interviewing me is almost one of the great researchers, okay? And I hope I'm also speaking to a country well enlightened. In a research, you say there is progress if the graph is sigmoid, okay? It can tire at that level when it levels out and probably go down. So, are we on the climb or?
Basing on that analogy.
Because women at some stage manage to come on the ballot paper. And we thought that was going to increase. And look, we even said, let's maintain those women who have been in those positions. You have a woman like Honorable Kadaga sitting in that position for 40 years. You have all of them. And our young girls cannot find space. Your justification, like I had one friend of mine among the candidates that has just gone, justifying why they need to go back to the polls. When at one stage he said, no, never to go back in the same situation. In the same situation. You see, as politicians, we must account. Now, as politicians who are saying our women are gaining, they are gaining. Tubaje Manju, and they are now at the ballot paper. How comes that every other day, now, instead of increasing the number and the stature and the capacity, it's basically waning. Waning in terms of capacity, in terms of stature, in terms of who should be where they should. So, affirmative action, was it a dupe?
Would we say that women not appearing on the ballot paper would water down the efforts of affirmative action?
That because if we are all citizens,
you have the vice president, the speaker of parliament, first deputy, the prime minister. We have them in these places.
Yes.
Even in political parties, they are taking over big positions.
Where we continue to tout affirmative action, whether abused or not. But where affirmative action in nominating women isn't, then you can see that we are not making good progress.
Let's look
then again, the youth. The youth. We still have 45-year-olds and above who are saying we are the ones fighting for the youth. And you remember when we were even lifting the age limit, we said we are helping the youth. Have they been able to make it with the 20 million? With the way you have to go to every district, with the time given, with no civic education, with no voter education, have we locked them out or we have helped them? So it's a shame.
Let's look at all the contestants.
Let's also look at another disadvantaged group. Those who have not managed to fit into our political, our would have been democratic institutions. Because of how undemocratic they have increasingly become, you can't see there are so many independents, but no independents are making to the top echelons. Why? Why?
We've not seen an independent nominated in these 2 days.
Why?
They all belong
There are
to
hard
political
questions
parties.
for us to ask ourselves. So 3 areas, very glaringly, putting it bare, whether we have made progress, whether we must protect the gains, and the gains for who? It's a question I ask. Now, if you have no gain for the women, no gains for the youth, no gains for those who do not fit in the designed political institutions that we have today, with the deepening undemocratic way they are behaving and the pervasive capture that is going on, then you know you've not made any gains. Then again, it is not just the protest board that's going to work, because eventually you become co-opted into the same mafia groups that are dominating.
Mukaku, let's look at, when we look at these candidates, one would have thought, and I saw you, one of the people who earlier on thought that the opposition would come together and maybe field a single candidate or have that strength. But what is happening as we are heading, why are, it seems Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the NRM candidate, now looking at him not as an incumbent, as a candidate, it seems this time he may have a smoother run than before, because the bickery, the divisionism within you members of the opposition, you find a Mukaku hitting a Kyagulanyi clearly down. You find one from FDC taking on PPF. You find, I don't think when we look at the elections we've had so far, we've come to a time when the opposition is divided as it is today.
Don't you forget that, and you're asking the right person. I was part of the IPFC of Dr. Kawanga Semogere. Mistakes were made then, but not great mistakes. For example, Semogere did not want to coerce anybody from UPC, CP, or elsewhere, or even JEMA, to change a political party to be working together with him. The Cecilio Guals of this world. When it came to FDC, which started as a reform agenda, ultimately, FDC said we are here to grow. Then we're in that stagnation for some time. Now there came NUP, even with the advice that we gave. I was here, and we said, now we need to work like a team. You don't have to convert from your party in order for me to work with you. What happened? He said, if you are not NUP, you are not with us. Then there came finally, there's a lot that has happened, but I want to give you 2 last things, phenomena, to demonstrate this. Do you remember when we tried to forge an alliance called the Whole Alliance? Do you remember when we said, okay, if you don't want the name Whole Alliance, if it actually annoys you, let's have the Democratic Alliance. And the whole leader of opposition in Parliament and outside Parliament and the Secretary General, they said, that's not our way of doing things. We wrote to everyone, as you remember. JEMA received us, FDC received us, and many others did so. The Democratic Alliance that won, and we even said, if you don't want the name, we are willing. But let's build early, let's construct an enduring alliance. That alliance we are already seeing, a dubious one, being constructed for succession. For a dubious succession, not a transition. Our people didn't want to listen. Then there came the reforms. 8 bills forced by the DF leadership in Parliament. Now 1 year and a few weeks.